Alright guys, today I'll be reviewing Sirens Curse at Cedar Point. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this tilt coaster for a long time, ever since we knew it was going to Energylandia and then Six Flags Mexico, and now here. And I finally got to ride it about 2 weeks ago, and I gotta say, it's a pretty good ride, but that being said, it could be a bit more aggressive, and I'll explain why in this review. So let's start off with the presentation. This ride looks amazing. It is one of the best coasters I've been on for theming. The way they dressed up this queue line last minute like this is amazing. There's water everywhere. It's sort of this nice color that looks a bit ominous but still not completely disgusting. It's amazing. You've got the painted supports that sort of look like they're rusting. You've got all this shipping equipment that's sort of just rotting. It's amazing. And the station is fantastic. This is a top 3 station I've ever seen. The design on it looks so cool, and most importantly, the onboard audio is the best of any coaster, period. I don't care what you have to say. You've got the sirens calling you on the lift hill. It just sets the tone so well. They're telling you you're going to meet your doom on the tilt track, and then it's got this heavy metal playing during the ride. You've also got some audio in the queue, like seagulls and everything, which is cool at first, but I will say I did wait over 3 hours for this, due to a rain delay, so really it would have only been about an hour without the rain delay, but there's nothing I could really do about that. But I will say the audio does get a bit old if you listen to it for like 3 hours, especially during a rain delay, because we were trying to listen for thunder, and some of the noises in the queue sound like thunder, so it's really tough to tell what's thunder and what's background music and sounds. It's kind of annoying, but you just have to deal with it and wait it out. Once you get up into the station, you'll be assigned a row, but you can request a row. I got the second to back, so I was happy with that. I did only get one ride on this because that hour wait was the shortest of my entire trip. It was a huge wait, and I think part of that is the capacity. Only 2 trains with 24 riders per train. It's pretty rough for Cedar Point, and I think this is definitely going to have one of the longest waits, just period, even after this year. So definitely get here early or just late in the day and get a night ride. I actually rode this at about 9 o'clock, so I got sort of a sunset ride, which was really cool. So anyways, let's get out of the station and head up the lift hill. This thing is really quick, and it's really nice with the onboard audio. Really sets the tone, the sirens whispering in your ear. And then you hit the tilt track. I can't speak for the front row or the middle, but in the back, that is one of the coolest drops ever. You rise up and you just start falling forward into your vest. It's such a cool feeling. You're hung there for forever. You hear those sirens one more time, and then the music starts and you drop. This drop is actually one of my favorite drops. In fact, I would say it's the best part of the ride. This feels like the best drop tower I've been on. It does not feel like a roller coaster drop, so do not expect whip or ejector or anything. But this is probably the best element on any coaster I've been on for butterflies. It is so good. It feels like one of those Larson drop towers, but even better, you're in that laying down position, so it's sort of a combination of a Larson tower and a sky jump. I mean, it's just perfect. It is the best drop tower that I've experienced. That is the best way to describe it, and it's really sustained in the back. You sustain it for a few seconds. The whip coming out of the drop isn't as violent as I heard. You definitely get a little bit of laterals, but not too much. I'll also note the valleys on this ride do give some positive Gs. They're not the most intense things in the world. I didn't gray out on this ride, but you definitely feel the Gs a bit. So the first element after the drop is this non-inverting dive loop. In the back, you get floater on this. I imagine in the front, it's a bit stronger. And then the whip coming out of it is pretty good. You get some decently strong laterals on that. And then you've got the first Heartline roll. And this is really where you see Sirens Curse is a great ride, but it's not a knock your socks off intense RMC like Wildcat's Revenge or even Lightning Rod. It's meant to be enjoyed by the masses, which is fine. I mean, Cedar Point could definitely use that. They have a ton of insane rides like Top Thrill 2, Magnum, so on. So this is great. But I would have liked to seen a bit more whip on this, sort of like the arcade roll. But instead, you get some pretty good laterals on this and a bit of floater. but it's not too aggressive, so enthusiasts definitely don't expect to be absolutely tossed out of your seat on this element. After that, you're going to rise up into the triple down. This gives some decent flowjector. I would say you also get some pretty good laterals on this, especially on the second down. After this, you're going to dive into a tunnel, and that's a really cool near miss. You also get some fog in there. And then you hit this sort of elongated, non-inverting loop. It's a really weird element. You get flowjector on this, and you also get some pretty decent laterals again. Now, this next turn gives the best positives on the ride. I definitely felt some good, strong positives on this. I didn't quite gray out, but it was pretty close to graying out. And then after this, you get the strongest pop of airtime on the ride. It's this S-hill. You get some pretty good laterals, pretty strong on there, throwing you to the left. But you also get a pop of ejector, which is nice compared to the flowjector you just got. I wouldn't say it's particularly strong ejector, but it's definitely in the ejector realm. And then after this, you hit the second inversion, the second heartline roll. And I think this one's actually whippier than the first one. You get thrown pretty hard to the left on this. I should also note I rode on the left side, so let me know if the forces are any different on the right side. I figured the left would be slightly better for a couple elements, so I rode there. I think these two heartline rolls are both pretty similar. I like the second one a bit more, but they're close. But both of them sort of feel like a progression towards the arcade roll or the Mosasaurus roll, those knock your socks off, world-class inversions that just throw you around mercilessly. After that, you're going to enter the airtime finale. You get 4 pops here. The first one is sort of a wave turn. That gives some good flowjector, and same with the next 2. Those also give flowjector. They're semi-sustained. You're definitely out of your seat for a bit on these 3 hills, but not for too long. And then you get a moderate floater pop heading up into the brakes if you're in the back. Again, in the front, I'd imagine this is a little stronger, but it's give and take. In the back, you get the drop a lot better. You get some other elements better, like the triple down, so I wanted to ride there. And that's your ride on Sirens Curse. Before I summarize this ride, I want to talk about 2 more things. One being the smoothness. This is possibly the smoothest coaster I've ridden. It's up there with the other new gen Vekomas I've done, like Big Bear Mountain and Flash. They're extremely smooth, and if you know me, that's not necessarily a good thing for me. I like rougher rides, and this is definitely not one of them, but I know most people will really appreciate the smoothness. And the other is the locker system. It's similar to Steel Vengeance, where you get towards the end of the line and then put your stuff in a locker. The lockers themselves actually look more like Top Thrill 2's, though, with the buttons on them and everything. So definitely be warned, it's sort of a combination between Top Thrill 2's and Steel Vengeance's lockers. So let's get into the final score. For Sirens Curse's final score, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Now, I know I like my extremely aggressive rides, and this isn't necessarily one of them. It's got a few pretty aggressive elements, but for the most part, it's something everyone going to Cedar Point should enjoy. Now, the reason I'm giving it a 9 is 1, because I really like the theming and the onboard audio, and 2, I just think the drop and the elements that hit are really good. I mean, the drop is one of my favorite drops out there. Again, if it was a drop tower, it would probably be my favorite drop tower. And some of those other elements, like the S-Hill, are really aggressive, and I can definitely appreciate that. So let me know what you guys think of Sirens Curse down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.